In the quaint town of Everfrost, where snow gently blanketed the rooftops and Christmas lights twinkled like distant stars, the air was thick with the scent of pine and the sound of joyous caroling. This picturesque setting, however, was about to become the stage for a tale of suspense and mystery that would chill the bones of its residents. The Carter family, known for their annual lavish Christmas celebrations, were preparing for their biggest event yet. The family, consisting of John and Eliza, along with their 2 children, Lily and Max, were the epitome of a perfect family in a perfect town. Their home, a large Victorian mansion adorned with intricate decorations, stood at the heart of Everfrost, inviting and grand. As the town clock struck midnight on Christmas Eve, a dense fog descended, shrouding Everfrost in a ghostly veil. It was then that strange occurrences began to unfold at the Carter residence. Whispers echoed through the halls, yet no source could be found. Shadows danced in the corners of rooms, taking shapes that were neither human nor animal. The first to notice was young Lily. She awoke to a cold breath on her neck, despite being nestled under her warm blankets. Her room, usually a sanctuary of childhood innocence, now felt ominous. The once cheerful Christmas ornaments seemed to stare at her with hollow eyes. Lily, with a sense of dread, decided to investigate the source of her unease. Meanwhile, John and Eliza were awakened by a faint melody, reminiscent of a Christmas carol, but twisted into a haunting tune that seemed to seep through the walls. They searched the house, only to find everything in its place except for one peculiar detail. The family's cherished antique nativity scene was rearranged, depicting a scene not of holy reverence, but of chaotic disarray. Max, the skeptical and brave older brother, dismissed the occurrences as tricks of the mind. However, his courage was tested when he saw his breath in the air inside the house, and the windows revealed no trace of the usual winter wonderland, only an impenetrable darkness. As the family gathered, each sharing their unnerving experiences, they realized they were not alone in their home. The temperature dropped, and a chilling wind swept through the house, extinguishing the fireplace and leaving them in darkness. Huddled together, they felt an oppressive presence, as if something unseen was watching them with malevolent intent. In the depths of the night, an old tale resurfaced in their minds, one that spoke of a traveler who sought shelter in Everfrost many Christmases ago, but was turned away by every home, including their own. Legend had it that the traveler cursed the town, vowing to return on a Christmas Eve when the moon was hidden and the air was still. As the Carters clung to each other, the whispers grew louder, forming words in an ancient, forgotten language. The ornaments began to rattle, and the nativity figures moved on their own, reenacting the traveler's tale of rejection and vengeance. In the midst of their terror, they heard a soft yet clear voice, not of malice, but of sorrow. It spoke of loneliness, of a desire to belong, and of the true spirit of Christmas, compassion and kindness. The family, realizing the error of their ancestors, spoke aloud their apologies and offered a place in their home to the spirit. As the words left their lips, the house began to warm and the oppressive feeling lifted. The darkness outside receded, revealing the familiar snowy landscape of Everfrost. The whispers faded, leaving behind a sense of peace. The Carters, forever changed by this encounter, decided to open their home every Christmas Eve henceforth to anyone in need, honoring the spirit of the traveler. Everfrost, once a town of picturesque perfection, became a beacon of warmth and welcome, embodying the true essence of Christmas. And so, as the first light of Christmas morning broke through the fog, the Carters and the town of Everfrost embraced a new tradition, one born from a night of fear, but transformed into a tale of hope and redemption. For in the whispers of the winter night, they found not just a ghostly presence, but a reminder of the love and unity that should prevail in every heart during Christmas. In the heart of a relentless winter, the small, snow-laden town of Frostfield harbored secrets darker than the longest night. At its center stood an unassuming coffee shop, the Warm Mug, a haven from the biting cold. It was here that our story unfolded, weaving the lives of three seemingly ordinary individuals. Anna, a kind-hearted barista with a troubled past. David, a reclusive writer with piercing blue eyes, always found in the corner booth. And Sarah, a charismatic but enigmatic regular. As the town prepared for its annual winter festival, a series of disturbing events began to unravel the fabric of their lives. Strange symbols appeared overnight on the snow-covered streets, each morning more complex than the last. Whispers of unease turned into murmurs of fear among the townsfolk. Anna, ever the empath, noticed the shift in the town's mood. She observed David's increasingly frenzied scribblings in his notebook and Sarah's cryptic phone calls, often ending in hushed tones. Their behavior, once familiar, now seemed laced with a sinister edge. The once cozy atmosphere of the Warm Mug became suffocating, as if the falling snow outside was seeping in, bringing with it an icy dread. The turning point came on the eve of the festival. Anna discovered a chilling note in David's abandoned notebook, a maze-like pattern resembling the symbols on the streets, and a single sentence: "The frost reveals what fire conceals." That same night, Sarah vanished, leaving behind only a cryptic message on Anna's voicemail.
"Look beneath the ice."
As the festival commenced, Anna's search for Sarah led her to the frozen lake at the town's edge. The festive lights reflected eerily on the ice, creating dancing shadows. Beneath the surface, Anna saw something that stole the breath from her lungs. A figure encased in ice with Sarah's unmistakable locket. The town's revelry turned to horror as the ice was broken, revealing not Sarah, but the preserved body of a woman missing for over a decade. The real Sarah emerged from the crowd, eyes wild with fear, pointing an accusing finger at David.
"He's the one. He knows."
In a frantic confrontation, David revealed his true identity. He was the brother of the woman in the ice, driven mad by grief and obsession. He had been using the festival to recreate the night of his sister's disappearance, believing it would uncover her fate. Sarah, an undercover detective, had been tracking his movements, suspecting his involvement. The final twist came as Anna, reeling from the revelations, returned to the Warm Mug to find a hidden room. Inside, she uncovered the shocking truth. David had been protecting her. The real architect of the woman's demise years ago was Anna's own father, who had now returned to finish what he started. As the snowstorm outside reached its crescendo, Anna faced her father in a harrowing confrontation, ending with his demise. As the dawn broke, revealing the blood-stained snow, Anna, Sarah, and David found themselves bound by the secrets they had uncovered and the darkness they had faced. The festival ended, but the shadows of that winter lingered, a reminder of the twisted tales hidden beneath the pristine snow. The Warm Mug stood silent, a monument to the chilling truth that sometimes the most disturbing horrors lie not in the supernatural, but within the human mind. In the heart of a relentless winter, the small, snow-covered town of Eldridge Falls harbored a chilling secret. Blanketed under a thick layer of white, the quaint streets and cozy homes gave no hint of the darkness lurking beneath. Among the townsfolk were 4 individuals, each nursing a disturbing secret of their own. First, there was Anna, a seemingly gentle librarian with an obsessive compulsion for order and symmetry. She was haunted by her past, plagued by the need to control everything around her. Then there was Tom, the local mechanic, whose charming smile and friendly demeanor masked his deeply rooted paranoia and distrust of those around him. Emily, a young schoolteacher, appeared innocent and kind-hearted, but she harbored a twisted fascination with the fragility of the human mind. She often wondered how much it would take to push someone over the edge. Lastly, there was Reverend James, whose fervent sermons on salvation and sin concealed his own struggle with violent impulses. As the days grew shorter and the nights longer, an undercurrent of unease began to pervade the town. Strange occurrences, like shadows flickering in the corner of one's eye and whispers carried on the wind, set everyone on edge. The townsfolk began to suspect each other, their fears and paranoia feeding into a growing hysteria. The first to unravel was Tom. Convinced that someone was tampering with his tools and sabotaging his work, he began to lash out, accusing his neighbors of conspiracy. His paranoia reached a fever pitch when he violently confronted Anna, accusing her of being the mastermind behind his troubles. Anna, already struggling with her own compulsions, found herself spiraling deeper into madness. The order she so desperately sought began to elude her, and she became fixated on the idea that Tom was trying to destroy her meticulously organized world. Emily watched with a morbid fascination, documenting the unraveling of her neighbors in her diary. She saw their descent into madness as a thrilling experiment, a chance to witness the breaking point of the human psyche. Reverend James, tormented by his own dark urges, saw the chaos as a sign of divine retribution. He preached about the end of days, further fueling the town's descent into madness. As the winter solstice approached, the town reached its breaking point. In a climactic confrontation, Tom, driven to the brink of insanity, broke into Anna's home, intent on exposing her supposed machinations. What he found instead was a scene of perfect order, so unnerving in its precision that it shattered his remaining sanity. Anna, confronted by Tom, experienced a moment of terrifying clarity. She realized that her compulsive need for order was a mirror to his paranoia. In a desperate struggle, she accidentally pushed Tom, watching in horror as he fell, hitting his head fatally on the edge of her meticulously arranged bookshelf. Reverend James, witnessing the event from his window across the street, was struck by a sudden epiphany. The darkness he had preached against was not in some external evil, but within them all. In a moment of madness, he set fire to his church, believing it to be the only way to cleanse the town of its sins. Emily, watching the flames engulf the church, realized that her fascination had brought her to the brink of a terrifying truth about the human condition. She fled Eldridge Falls, leaving behind her diary as the only record of the town's descent into madness. The twist, however, lay not in the fiery destruction of the town or the tragic fates of its residents, but in the hands that now held Emily's diary. The story ends with a new teacher arriving in the rebuilt town of Eldridge Falls, finding the diary and beginning to read, her eyes reflecting the same twisted fascination that once consumed Emily. The cycle, it seems, was destined to continue.